minutes to think a little bit about what this actually means. These are not rapes of passion. These are not crimes of passion. This is not some insane individual or group of insane individuals doing these things. This is organized, premeditated, planned acts of terror. There's nothing else. I mean, that's what it is, and let's call it what it is. And so if I have to think about who I am a citizen of India, and I have to stand up and say, I don't stand by this. And we need to go back and think about what we need to do to build a country where our children can feel safe, where our children it's okay for our children to grow up being afraid of pretend monsters, but not real monsters. It's not okay for them to be scared of real monsters, and that's the country we need to build. Thank you.
You who don't know me, my name is Adi Nochur. I'm an organizer of Subcontinental Drift Boston. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I lack like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I'll rise.
My name is Sumaya Zama, and it pains me more than anything to have to write and deliver this speech in front of you today. I am the daughter of immigrants from India. I am a youth advocate and women's empowerment activist. I am a Muslim, I am a woman, and I am in mourning. Today, I mourn the life of Asifa, who at just 8 years old left our world in the most brutal way any of us can possibly imagine. What happened to young Asifa, as we know, is not an isolated incident. The bodies of women and girls globally have been consistently, routinely, and strategically targeted, violated, and manipulated for hundreds upon thousands of years. Our bodies have been playgrounds for a violence that knows quite literally no bounds. Our bodies, battlefields that have seen unparalleled brutality and torment. In the case of Asifa and countless other victims of sexual assault, we have seen the fascist Hindutva state, a so-called secular state, radicalize and sicken its people over time. Sex has been weaponized, our own bodies weaponized against us to send us politicized messages, messages that tell us brazenly that we do not matter. We don't matter as women. We don't matter as Muslims. We don't matter as Kashmiris. We don't matter as Dalits, and so on. Make no mistake, friends. Patriarchy and the fascist Hindutva state, like all modes of fascism, require the existence of the other to survive and to thrive. Abolishing fascism requires the abolishment of patriarchy, and the abolishment of patriarchy requires the abolishment of fascism. Make no mistake that Hindutva ideologies are not an international issue. Patriarchy and gender-based violence are not international issues. These issues are domestic issues. They are our issues. If you are here right now and are someone with some amount of privilege, if you are a man, an upper caste or upper class person, or a Hindu ally, I call on you for action. Right now, I call on you to speak up, to talk to your families, and to not allow this conversation to fizzle out. I call on your allyship, and I require you to center not only the safety and protection of women and girls, but the freedom and liberation of women and girls. I require you to spread the ugly truths of injustice in every conversation, every space that you possibly can. I call on you to leverage your privilege, your network, your resources, your time, your energy for the liberation of all people. To responsibly and quickly put an end to rape apologist conversation. To unequivocally denounce all forms of sexual assault and gender-based violence, and to shed light on the politicized weaponization of violence against girls and women all over the world, whether that's in Kashmir, Palestine, Burma, Boston, or Virginia. I have decidedly dedicated my life to the abolishment of patriarchy and to the upliftment of my people. I promise to carry the spirit of liberation of women and girls in every space that I enter, and to center victims of sexual assault and violence. Let us all decide today to collectively move forward in that spirit as we demand justice for our sisters, daughters, families, and communities, and for my fellow victims of sexual assault. I pray that we heal together and find solace in our communities and in our bodies. I pray for continued healing and for justice and for liberation for us, for all women in our lives, for the women of the world, the women who came before us, and the women that will come after. Ameen.
Thank you, Sumaya. Very moving words and strong words. Exactly the kind of thing we need right now to bring our community together and fight this malice. I would like to invite Satya.
Asifa Bano was 8 years old when she was raped in the most brutal manner and was killed. The Unnao rape survivor is 16 years old. The law didn't take its course. Not only did the state indulge in victim blaming, but also the state actively aided and abetted the accused. This is what a state-protected violence against women looks like. Such violence is not new in our South Asian subcontinent, especially in India. Women in occupied Kashmir and the Northeast have experienced this state-sanctioned violence forever. Now with the Hindutva forces in power, that patriarchy, that toxic masculinity is roaming with impunity. Rape is all about domination by toxic masculinity. Violence against women, Dalits, and Muslims have further increased under the Hindutva forces in power. We gather here united, condemning the state-led and state-sanctioned femicide. It's femicide. We at the Answer Coalition fight to stop imperialist wars, and we stand here with you together to stop this war against women. People united, Hindutva will be defeated. People united, patriarchy will be defeated. We need to dismantle Desi patriarchy. We need to dismantle all patriarchy. justice for Asifa Bano, justice for the survivor of rape survivor Unnao. Thank you.
Thank you, Satya. I would like to call upon Kashmir. Please come.
Okay. Thank you. So a lot of people have talked about different forces, different ideologies, different systems that's keeping people, dehumanized, right? Women, Dalits, Muslim, Adivasis, and we need to really focus on that. Really, what's really happening, and it shouldn't be just one incident. Of course, a few incidents sometimes shakes us out of our, inertia, and then bring us to action. And we should, as Sumaya said, dedicate our life. This is really a battle for humanity. It's are we going to survive as a human being, or are we just going to be cogs on the wheels of these ideologies, these systems that's sweeping over the whole world? So we need to be very mindful about that. We need to get our moral compass correct. That why are we doing that? Is this because just Asifa was a Muslim or a girl, or is it also because she's a human being? And it should pain us, whoever human being, whether it's happening in Cambridge or it's happening in Kashmir. So we need to be very mindful of that. And how do we do that? I mean, it's not us versus them. We have to also look within us and see what are the elements that's causing that, dehumanization of a group of people. How do we do that? And whenever we see it within us, our family, our friend circle, instead of coming out of that circle, but we should put a stop to that. We should say this is not acceptable. Instead of engaging in debate about that, just make your stand that this is not acceptable. We're not going to take this anymore, and just really recognize the humanity within all of us. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kashif.
To everyone, we all stand together to condemn the heinous crimes in Kathua and Unnao today.
At the same time, let us not forget the heinous rapes and murder of the Dalit family in Kerlanji in 2006, and the widespread atrocities against Dalit women in India day in, day out, the horrific rapes and killings of women of Muslim faith in Gujarat in 2002, the horrific rapes of tribal women in Chhattisgarh, the rapes and killings of women by men in uniform from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Per the Association of Democratic Reforms, an election watchdog report, out of 1580 MPs and MLAs, and that's only 33% that was analyzed, 48 were declared to have criminal cases against women, which included rape. All major political parties give tickets to candidates with cases of crimes against women, especially rape, and therefore hindering the safety and dignity of women as citizens. In the last 68 years, regardless of which party is in power, there is scant disregard for security of women. The states, the Indian state and the governments in power have failed to protect women and protect and shield the rapists. We all need to fight the evils of caste system, patriarchy, communalism and capitalism from our bastis and mohallas, from our unions and workplaces. The liberation of Indian women is a precondition for the liberation of all Indians. For a just and democratic South Asia, Inkilab Zindabad. Thank you.
Let's call upon Hardeep to share a few words with us, please.
It's difficult to be here. I'd like to begin by saying that, like the violence against the tribals, the violence against the Dalits, the violence against the Muslims, the violence against women, the the violence against children. These are all the same kind of violence, in fact. If I am raped and if my head is chopped off, it's the same. So I think we need to really begin to see what this violence is about and why is it majority of the people are placed in that space. If I count the women, the children, the Adivasis, the Dalits, the women, what kind of percentage do you think that is? That's a majority. So a majority is in trouble. There's violence against the majority. We have to work out why. Why is it happening? And it's not new. This is continuously happening. And we have to really address many issues. One of them is patriarchy, that as women, we are automatically, as we are born, or even when we're in the womb, there's a prejudice. The minute we're born, first thing somebody will say is, hi, it's a girl. So where does that come from? And how do we deal with that? What do we need to change? You know, it's not just, I think, individual, it is how the norms are set. And if we look at most societies in the world, the norms are set in this way, that there is a foundation that earlier was set as patriarchy, but on top of it, they built everything.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. And I would like to invite Mazhar Saab to speak a few words. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, good evening, and whatever you wish to. One thing, I'm very happy to see so many young people, because you'll be living in the world which probably with this current rate would not get better. So you are going to live in the world and you're going to make the history, you're going to write the history. It's all upon you, because the other people, if they write for you, they will not be very kind.
I was going to read it. The title of the poem is Humanity. And I was trying to find humanity in Kathua and Unnao. So this poem is about that.
Humanity. Humanity, I'm looking for you in the streets of Kathua and Unnao. What barbaric system is this that needs blood every day? Under the garb of humans, beasts satisfy their lust. The state and rulers, like wolves, drink blood of innocent. Rape and pillage justified. They keep quiet like a bagula. Humans, like beasts, prey on young girls.
Thank you, Jaspali, and thank you, Kashif. I would like to invite Nimish from AID to speak a few words.
Also as a volunteer of AID to sympathize with the families that are facing this utmost violence against them. But at the same time, I request everyone, and especially people here, to think beyond one incident, and what many have basically said here is to actually see the picture and stand to defeat the ideologies that justify rape and other violence, to deny very existence of a human being based on their caste, class, gender, whether they are tribal, rural, etc. The evil has become so banal in some sense that all of us feel that this is just another thing, and there's this famous poem of Faiz which says that तुझको कितनों का अर्ज चाहिए ए अर्ज़े वतन जो तेरे आरिज़े रंग बेरंग को गुलजार करे कितनी आहों से कलेजा तेरा ठंडा होगा कितने आंसू तेरे सहराओं को संसार करे.
Introduce myself briefly. My name is Zahir Adil. I'm a primary volunteer for Burma Task Force. And as Somaya said, in Burma we have actually seen rape being used as a weapon against the girls. More than 52% have been raped. Anyways, today is not about Burma, but I also wanted to say that we are here. She is just one of Muslim child. Every child is a Hindu child. Every child is also wishes, and we will defeat this ideology of Hindutva together. Maybe we also need to think about how we need to make our own lawmakers cognizant of the dangers of Hindutva. However, let me not say that anymore. I want to read you a poem that is written by a Dr. Sheikh Ubaid. Dr. Sheikh Ubaid happens to be a co-founder of the Indian American Muslim Council. He is also a strategist with Burma Task Force. So his poem is, and you know, very often when I read this poem, I get a little emotional. So if I have to stop for a while, please excuse my break there. Why didn't you warn me about the monsters, Mama, who clawed my face and ripped my clothes to tatters, Mama? You said, don't be afraid, child. There are no wild beasts in Kashmir, Mama. But you forget about the followers of Veer, Mama. You could not have been more wrong, Mama. I'm sorry I could not say so long, Mama. No tigers or hyenas live here, you said. No lions, no wolves, not even sloth bear, you said. The snow leopard, when texting long ago, you said, is safe to graze the horses in the valley and Jammu, you said. But you forgot about the beast's inhuman stealth, Mama. Monsters with scary eyes and stinking breath, Mama. More cruel than wild dogs, more repulsive than the vultures, Mama. Who hate diversity in religion and cultures, Mama. They hurt me bad, even though I pled, Mama. I cried, apologized, and I begged, Mama. I called for you and for Dad, Mama. I prayed long and really hard, Mama. But it was all in vain, Mama. Only death did end my pain, Mama. Thank you.
My name is Nina, and I have written a small poem on human. We are first human beings. So, just talking about that, what a human being should do. तुम इंसान हो, इंसान की जान ना लो. तुम इंसान हो, इंसान की जान ना लो.
My name is Hamida, and in this scenario of really sad times, I want to end this on a very optimistic note. I came here with my 12-year-old daughter. I dragged her from the mall, trying to figure out where is mom taking me, and I had to explain to her what this whole situation is, and she insisted that there would be no other kids here. And it's so heartening to see mothers bringing their daughters and their sons and coming here to kind of show support. And I had this whole argument with her, and I don't have the answer for her. Maybe some of you can help me after. What is the purpose of this vigil? I mean, what are we accomplishing? We had this whole argument on the drive from the South Shore, and I did not have an appropriate answer for my 12-year-old, and it really saddened me that I was unable to tell her that as a mother, the most I can do is stand here in this cold night with a fake candle and just show my outrage. But I hope that we can end this with some action item that, I don't know, what can we do as a mother of a girl? This is very personal to me, and I just hope that we can come up with some solution. And also, I mean, I think this Hindutva stuff is there, yes, but it would be such a delusion to think that women weren't raped in the Congress Raj or in the British Raj or any Raj that was before that. Women have been raped and brutally murdered, and children have been raped constantly. I grew up in Bombay, and I saw street kids as young as 4, 5, 6 being abused sexually.
Doing this least and not doing it. It is this not doing it which is the banality of evil. Because when Pehlu Khan was lynched, no one came. When Muhammad Akhlaq was lynched, no one came. Then Asifa was raped. Then people thought, why is it happening? It is happening because the citizenry is silent. It is afraid. It doesn't stand with the poor. It doesn't stand with the oppressed. It doesn't stand with the women. It doesn't stand with the transgender, the Adivasis, the Dalits. So it is important to stand, just stand, without thinking that we will be able to change this whole system in a day just by coming to Harvard Square. We have to keep coming to Harvard Square for the rest of our lives. That is the commitment we need to take to change these things. So I am very glad so many people did show up, taking time out of their busy schedules and going homes and going to children's activities and all. So we will quickly conclude this. We'll do some slogans, and if you have any good ideas, let's please put it forward. We can all shout together and feel together the pain, but also the resilience to fight it back, because if we lose hope, then we have lost everything. So we Asifa Bano, what do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Asifa Bano, Asifa Bano, Asifa Bano. हम उन्नाव नहीं भूलेंगे, हम उन्नाव नहीं भूलेंगे, हम कठुआ नहीं भूलेंगे, हम कन्नन पुष्पुरा नहीं भूलेंगे. Asifa,
I am
Asifa,
I am
Asifa,
I am. We want
justice,
we want
justice.